In this video, we'll be going over the bar model problem worksheet for Equal Parts 1. First, I'm just going to explain how these worksheets are going to work. When you are assigned bar model problems, you will first print the worksheet off of PowerSchool Learning, and the worksheet will look something like this. It'll have 2 pages. You can print it two-sided if you want, or on 2 different pages. The first side will have a learn problem and a try problem. The learn problem I will use to demonstrate how to solve one of these types of problems. Then I will ask you to pause the video and do the try problem on your own. Then come back and watch the video to see the try problem worked out. You may have solved it a different way, and that is fine. In math, you will see that math is consistent. So there are different ways to solve problems, and the beauty of it is that if you are doing it correctly, you will always get the same answer no matter which method you use. So when you come back, you can see how I solved it. You may have solved it differently, and that's fine. And then for part of your homework, you will be asked to do the problem on the second page, the on your own problem. So you will do that as part of your homework. And then when you return to class the next week, we will solve that problem together in class. So let's do our first worksheet. So the first problem, the learn problem, is right here. There are 4 times as many blue marbles as red marbles. There are 555 marbles in all. How many blue marbles are there? So these are equal parts problems, so we're going to draw bar models with equal parts. When you're doing bar model problems, you want to ask first, what do I know? So I know that there are 4 times as many blue marbles as red marbles. So I am going to draw bar models for number of red marbles and number of blue marbles. So there are 4 times as many blue marbles as red. So we'll have our unit here represent how many red marbles. And then we want there to be 4 times as many blue marbles. So we want a bar that's 4 times as long as our red. Okay, so now this picture should represent the problem. There are 4 times as many blue as red marbles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 red. What else do we know? We know that there are 555 marbles in all. So I like to use brackets here and label this 555 marbles. Now, what do we need to know? We need to know how many blue marbles are there. So we want to know this amount. So now, looking at our picture, it might become obvious how we figure that out, because 555 is the number of red and blue together. There are 5 equal parts between the red and the blue marbles. So if we take 555 and divide that by 5, you will get 111. So there are 111 in each of these parts. So we could 111, 111. They're all 111 marbles. So the question again is, how many blue marbles are there? So it looks like we have 111 times 4, which would be 444. Now in all of these problems, I ask you to write out a sentence at the end answering the question. And the reason I want you to do this is because by writing a sentence, you can verify you're actually answering the right question. So the question is, how many blue marbles are there? There are 444 blue marbles. And that is the first question. That is the learn question on your worksheet. So now I want you to try the try question. And what you can do is just pause the video right here and give it a try and come back when you have attempted the problem. Here we are on the second problem, the try problem, the one I asked you to try on your own. For every paper airplane that Joseph makes, Sarah makes 2. If they make 141 altogether, how many did Sarah make? Okay, so again, first question, what do we know? We know that that Sarah makes twice as many paper airplanes as Joseph. So let's label our 2 people here, Joseph and Sarah. And it says for every paper airplane that Joseph makes, this will represent the number of paper airplanes that Joseph makes. And Sarah makes twice as many. There. We also know that they make 141 altogether. 141 airplanes. Now, what do we need to know? We need to know how many did Sarah make? Well, this is an equal parts problem again. Sometimes in equal parts problems, we use little hash marks there to show that those are all equal. So we have 3 equal parts, and they all add up to 141. So if we take 141 and divide by 3, we should get how many airplanes each of these parts represents. So let's do our math here. We get 47. Okay, so each of these parts is 47. So sometimes I like to say this, do this in my problems. A part equals 47. So then the question is, how many did Sarah make? Sarah makes 47 times 2. So if I can't do that in my head, I can multiply it out. 94. Again, write the whole sentence out so you know you're answering the right question. Sarah makes 94 airplanes. All right, so that is that example. And then for homework, work on the on your own problem on page 2.